G'day guys, Dan from Tackle Tactics here. Just doing a quick vid for you guys on snapper fishing in the shallows. I've been doing that sort of fishing for almost 20 years now, since soft plastics really first came on the scene. It's one of my favorite forms of fishing. I've picked up, a lot of things on it over the years. I've got a few tips. Hopefully you guys can just get something from this quick video. So, first things first, conditions. Never head offshore when the conditions aren't safe, obviously, but ideal conditions are when there has been some really poor conditions, to be honest. When those big southerly swells have come through, they can really stir up that shallow water, that real 5 to 20 meter sections of reef where snapper tend to congregate. So the ideal sections is when the water is quite deep and then comes up onto some really shallow reefs. That's where a lot of bait hangs out, and generally where lots of snapper aren't far behind. So other tip is low light periods. I prefer first thing in the morning. I'm on the water sometimes an hour before first light, getting right into position and casting your first lure before sunrise. Okay, so try and get out there first. If you're out there first on that spot, other blokes might not have been out there for a couple of weeks, and you're throwing that first lure into those real shallow sections, you're really onto a good chance. There's some really important things. Just done up a little diagram here. So boat, we know where we want to fish. Okay, we've caught fish here before, or we've gotten a tip. These sort of sections, they could be near bommies, near some white water. Okay, whether it's 1 kilometer or 20 kilometers offshore, that's not really relevant. Okay, so first things first, coming out of the heads, traveling to our destination. Lots of blokes will just go boom straight over where we want to fish. Okay, try to avoid that. Lots of other blokes will even sound around these areas looking for fish. I tend not to do that as well, okay, because I know that these grounds, really shallow, you don't want to spook the fish. So what I'll tend to do is to give this area a really wide berth. We've got the wind going this direction, okay. Give that area where you want to fish a really wide berth. Get into here. Turn the boat around, okay? If it's really breezy, you can deploy a wind anchor out the back, okay? Cock the motor around in lock so that the boat is facing the sideways direction, and you get a really slow drift through these areas. If you're out with 3 blokes, you can have a bloke fishing here, a bloke fishing here, a bloke fishing here up the front, okay? Now, some tips. Really long casts ahead of the boat, okay? Never fish at the back of the boat and cast behind the boat, okay? I'll show you why now. Out of the hundreds of snapper I've caught, I'm not sure why, but snapper love those lures when they're just, for some reason, just sinking down really, really naturally, and then they just must come off the bottom and bang, which is called on the drop. Okay, if that lure, if you've got tension on your line and you are pulling it through the water, or you're letting the lure hit the drink and giving it lots of action, they're just not interested. Okay, so other fish are, like kingfish and those other sorts of pelagics, love the movement. Snapper don't. Okay, so just cast right out in front, okay, and let the lure just sink down naturally. Never drag it behind the boat, okay? And even like piddly little casts next to the boat, all right? They just don't tend to play ball. You might get a few panties, but the bigger ones, they're just too clever for that, okay? So, a couple other things, obviously plastics. The Z-Mans are great. They're extra tough. You can use, unlike other plastics, you can use literally one plastic for the whole session, okay? These things I've just gotten onto, okay, the big eyes, they glow in the dark, so excellent for when you are, out there in those low light areas. Okay, you know, I love these 5-inch ones, extra tough, natural. Okay, make sure that they're on really straight and natural. Okay, you know, other ones that I like, the coconut ice, the shiner, the natural look. Okay, all work really good. Next thing, leader. Okay, the 20 pound is all I use now. Okay, in the platypus fluorocarbon. All right, you can get your little fish, you can get the lots of little bites from the panties. Okay, but you know, you can also, if you're in a real wrestle with a real big fish, you can also, it's got the strength to drag out those, you know, those 8 to 10 kilo models off the reef. Okay, you know, I combine that with the super braid. Okay, and get those real long casts out in front of you with, you know, a good sort of 1 meter, you know, 4 foot of the stealth fluorocarbon, combined with the 3/8 jig head and the 5-inch plastic. Okay, all right, good luck. You know, let me know how you go. Get in the wash. Cheers.